The Muldra sky, a perpetual canvas of ash and gray, offered little comfort. Kaylin, her back aching from another day of scavenging, dragged a heavy duffel bag through the overgrown streets. The familiar groans of the undead were a constant, morbid symphony, but lately, a subtle disquiet had settled over her, a faint hum beneath the rotting world's surface. Her fortified warehouse, once a sanctuary of mundane survival, now felt like a temporary waypoint on a journey she hadn't asked for. Her base, a testament to meticulous planning, boasted reinforced walls, rain collectors, and enough stored MREs to outlast a small nation. Yet, the gnawing dread wasn't about dwindling supplies. It was the feeling, a prickling sensation at the back of her neck, a phantom whisper of energy that had started days ago, growing stronger with each passing night. It began subtly, a vivid dream of glowing hands and explosive energy. Then, during a particularly desperate scramble from a horde, she felt a surge, a primal instinct. Her hand, outstretched in desperation, had emitted a faint, blue spark that pushed a nearby zombie into a wall. It was too fleeting, too unbelievable to trust. She dismissed it as adrenaline-fueled hallucination. Until she found the crystal. It lay nestled in the wreckage of a military convoy, not glittering or grand, but a dull, obsidian shard pulsating with a faint, steady rhythm. The moment her fingers brushed its surface, a jolt, not of electricity, but of raw, untamed power, surged through her. Her mind flooded with images. Stars, distant planets, figures shimmering with blinding auras. And a word, whispered on the wind, key. Back at her base, heart pounding, Kaylin experimented with cautious awe. Sitting in the quiet solitude of her makeshift training room, she closed her eyes, focusing on that internal hum. It was like a new muscle, difficult to flex but undeniably there. A flicker of blue light emanated from her palm. Then a soft pop as a small key blast, no bigger than a marble, harmlessly impacted the wall. The exhaustion that followed was profound, but so was the exhilaration. Days turned into weeks. Kaylin's routine shifted. Scavenging for food and tools remained, but it was now punctuated by intense, often frustrating, training sessions. Focusing her key, she learned to sense the faint life signatures of the undead, their shambling movements amplified in her awareness. A simple key-eye shout, a burst of concentrated ki, could now send a cluster of zombies sprawling, buying her precious seconds. She even managed a clumsy, short burst of flight, hovering a few feet off the ground before tumbling onto a stack of sandbags. Her power level, a strange, intuitive understanding she now possessed, was still pitifully low by whatever universal standard existed, but it was growing. The zombies, once terrifying, were now merely training dummies, their collective, power level, barely registering. The first true sign that her world had irrevocably changed wasn't one of her own making. It was a searing light, brighter than any lightning strike, that tore through the sky one night. The resulting crash sent a tremor through the earth that vibrated even her reinforced walls. Driven by a mixture of dread and burgeoning confidence, Kaylin tracked the impact site to a devastated section of the nearby forest. There, nestled in a smoking crater, was a sleek, silver pod, its hatch sprung open like a metallic flower. Beside it lay a figure, tall and gaunt, clad in an unfamiliar, form-fitting armor. Its skin was pale green, its eyes wide and black. And its power level, even in unconsciousness, was a humming, vibrant force that made Kaylin's own ki prickle with alarm. It was an alien, and it was hostile. The being awoke with a guttural roar, its black eyes fixing on Kaylin. It moved with unnatural speed, a blur of green and silver, but Kaylin was ready. She met its charge, a desperate ki blast erupting from her hand, slamming into its chest. The alien staggered, surprised, then retaliated with a crimson energy beam from its finger. Kaylin dodged, the beam scorching the earth where she'd stood. This wasn't like fighting zombies. This was a dance of death. She concentrated, pushing her ki to its limits, feeling a warm, almost painful surge. A Kamehameha-like wave of blue energy gathered between her cupped hands. The alien, sensing the immense power, tried to evade, but Kaylin unleashed it. The blast incinerated a swath of trees and caught the creature full on. It screamed, its armor cracking, before exploding in a shower of green blood and twisted metal. Exhausted but alive, Kaylin stood amidst the wreckage. The alien's armor, though damaged, was recoverable. Its wrist-mounted device, a scouter, she instinctively knew its name, lay shattered, but she carefully collected its parts. This wasn't the end, it was barely the beginning. The device hinted at a vast, terrifying universe. Its data log spoke of Frieza Force and Planet Vegeta. Her goal shifted from mere survival to something grander, escape. Earth, ravaged by zombies and now a potential battleground for cosmic powers, was no longer a safe haven. She needed a ship. The next year was a blur of frantic activity. The alien technology, though complex, was a goldmine of reverse engineering opportunities. She tore apart the alien pod, salvaged its power core, and meticulously began to construct her own vessel within the cavernous warehouse. Her base expanded, becoming a makeshift shipyard and a more advanced training ground. She refined her ki control, learning to fly with fluidity, to create energy shields, and to unleash more potent blasts. She even discovered how to infuse her salvaged armor, now patched and modified for her frame, with her own ki, enhancing its durability. She encountered more aliens, few of them friendly. Small scout ships, mercenary pods, each encounter a brutal test of her growing power. She learned to fight dirty, to strategize, and most importantly, to never underestimate an opponent. Her power level, once a whisper, was now a roar, detectable for miles. This was a double-edged sword. While it made her formidable, it also painted a target on her back. Finally, after painstaking months, the ship was ready. A cobbled-together marvel of human ingenuity and alien tech, it hummed with barely contained power. Leaving Earth behind, a melancholic but necessary act, Kaylin piloted her vessel through the inky void, guided by the remnants of the alien scouters' star charts. Her first stop was a desolate asteroid belt, rich in rare minerals hinted at in the alien data. She spent weeks mining, fighting off automated drones and crystalline creatures that absorbed energy. She upgraded her ship, reinforced her armor, and pushed her ki further, learning to withstand the crushing vacuum of space. Her journey then took her to Xylos, a lush, verdant planet teeming with exotic flora and fauna. But Xylos was no paradise. It was a colony world, its indigenous, peaceful inhabitants, a race of gentle, plant-like humanoids, enslaved by a brutal faction of reptilian warriors, the Slur. Their power levels were considerable, their technology advanced, but they lacked the spiritual awareness of ki. Kaylin couldn't simply pass by. She descended into the planet's atmosphere, her ship cloaked, and began her reconnaissance. She liberated a small group of Xylosians, learning of the Slur's cruelty and their leader, Commander ZYD. Zyd's power level pulsed like a malevolent star. The battle for Xylos was swift and brutal. Kaylin, now a seasoned warrior, engaged the Slur forces head-on. She flew through their ranks, a blur of blue energy, dispatching soldiers with precision ki blasts and powerful physical strikes. Her armor glowed with infused ki, deflecting their energy weapons. She was a whirlwind, a force of nature. Finally, she confronted Commander ZYD in his command center. ZYD, a hulking brute with razor claws and a sneering grin, unleashed a barrage of crimson energy. Kaylin met it with her own, the two warriors locked in a dance of destructive power. ZYD was strong, perhaps stronger than any opponent she'd faced. He mocked her, calling her a primitive earthling. This primitive earthling, Kaylin retorted, a golden aura erupting around her, her power level surging to a new, breathtaking height, is about to show you what humanity can do. It wasn't a full Saiyan transformation, but a powerful, instinctive leap, fueled by anger and resolve. Her speed became blinding, her strikes carried the force of a meteor. She dodged a crushing blow, then countered with a barrage of focused ki blasts, each one tearing through Zyd's armor. She finished him with a concentrated final flash-like beam, a golden torrent of energy that incinerated the Slur commander, leaving only a smoking crater. The Slur forces, leaderless and terrified, quickly surrendered or fled. The Xylosians were free. Kaylin, exhausted but triumphant, looked out at the liberated world. Her journey had taken her from scavenging for canned peaches in a zombie-infested town to fighting alien warlords on distant planets. She had become something more than human, she was a warrior of the cosmos. As she prepared her ship for the next leg of her journey, the stars beckoned. The universe was vast, full of wonders and threats, friends and foes. Her power was growing, but there was always more to learn, new limits to break. Somewhere out there, perhaps, an ancient Saiyan legend, a Namekian elder, or a galactic patrol would be waiting. Kaylin, the unassuming survivor from Earth, was ready. Her adventure, truly, had just begun.